The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who'll have to walk the plank. Welcome, Jacob.
Oh man, be like, I got a stupid crocodile. I didn't do anything wrong this time. I promise. Deedly, get me out of here.
Oh, your teleporter's malfunctioning again, huh?
Ah, great.
Oh, sure. Good thing this is a skit.
Why? Thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who. Why did you have to pick a battle with a bunch of aliens? Let's just say that. Why did you pick a battle with a bunch of aliens? Thankfully, Samus. Thank you. Samus showed up and saved your keister.
Dude, you have to understand. Two cute girls in battle armor fighting. Do you understand now?
Yes, I'm aware.
That's why.
I had male hormones. Come on.
Can't say the words, but you have them. Yeah, tonight we are doing an indie shorts month.
Yes.
To end out season 4 of the Cellcast. And we are starting tonight with my choices.
Yes.
Which are an internet classic called Haloid, which is a kind of fan crossover film between Metroid and Halo. And then something I found recently and I'm happy to find, Curse of the Crystal Coconut.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing, which we'll get to here in a minute. So yeah, we're going to jump into that. Of course, neither one of us really have a spoiler-free thought on this, correct? Because I mean, there's not really spoilers.
No, there's not, because like one,
they're short.
They're very short. Yeah, Curse of the Crystal Coconut's like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a music video, basically.
It's a music video. And Haloid is maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean, this isn't going to take y'all long, so we're not going to spoil.
No.
We're not going to worry about spoilers. So let's just go ahead and jump into our spoiler-filled thoughts. The following are spoiler-filled reviews for the short films Haloid and Curse of the Crystal Coconut. Listener discretion is advised. Feels weird saying these have spoilers when there really isn't spoilers.
No.
But whatever. So yeah, we're going to start with Haloid first, mostly because that's just what I put in my notes first.
Yes.
Haloid was written, directed, animated, and a ton of other things, according to the credits, by Monty Ohm. Do you recognize this name?
It sounds familiar.
Before he passed away, he created the internet anime Ruby, and also did a bunch of stuff for Rooster Teeth. For their Red versus Blue series when they needed some more original animation than what the machinima would allow them to do. So yeah, and this is really what got him got him very popular, even though he apparently didn't know this until Rooster Teeth talked to him. He didn't know this had made such an impact.
Really?
He thought he has another series he did called Dead Fantasy, which was a combination of Final Fantasy and Dead or Alive. Which I think was an excuse to have 3D girls fight.
True.
Considering the Dead or Alive series.
Makes sense.
And or the Final Fantasy girls in skimpy outfits fight, let's be honest. And I think that's probably what he was thinking, because it kind of had a wider reach since those were released on YouTube. The problem with Haloid is that it was put out on GameTrailers.com back.
Yes.
It's like, this is like a 15-year-old short, guys. This is back before YouTube was really a thing.
True.
I mean, it was around, but Google hadn't bought them yet. They were still, they were past the dating site thing they were at the time, which still weirds me out thinking YouTube is a dating site, but it was. But before this is back when you still had a 10-minute limit on your video.
That's right. Yeah.
This is how far back we're talking. It was just getting big, basically. But there had already been some work to put video, if you're not doing Flash, to have a video player on site. And Game Trailers was doing this for a lot of video game trailers at the time. And so they put a lot of work into that. So they were, of course, hosting a bunch of videos on that.
Mhm.
And I kind of found it because I was already going to GameTrailers.com on the regular because I was watching a bunch of videos from the website ScrewAttack.com that was
Mhm.
over there.
Yeah.
And the most famous of those shows would have been the Angry Video Game Nerd. I'm
Mhm.
sure you know him.
Yes, I know them.
No, none of that language is coming out tonight.
No. No.
So, and I happened to run across that, and this has been stuck in my memory since then. I did when we were trying to come up with these. I had the image of my mind, but I couldn't think of the name of it. And then when I finally realized the name of it, and I went to search it, I thought surely he released this on his own YouTube channel before he passed, because he has a bunch of other stuff on there, including the original 4 shorts for Ruby that introduced that series before I think it got fully came into Rooster Teeth. But yeah, that's kind of how I found it, because it wasn't there. I thankfully somebody else uploaded this, and that's where we watched it from, which is why if y'all go to the link that's going to be in the show notes, you might notice this is a little fuzzy because it's recorded at 480i. It is interlaced video, and it's 15 years old. So the old YouTube compression is involved in this, which is not great.
No.
But this is how we were able to find it. Now, someone did a shot-for-shot remake of this thing in Source Filmmaker. I haven't watched it yet. It only came out in 2019, but it looks like it's definitely meant as a tribute, and it looks like it's shot for shot. The closest thing we'll ever get to a remaster, but that is out there. So
okay.
Anyway, that's my thoughts. That's my information.
Okay.
Oh, I have one more thing. Sorry. Of course, it's got 2 characters in it.
Yeah.
Samus Aran from Metroid.
Of course.
Specifically, this is the version from Metroid Prime. The popular version at the time, and the most recent. The Spartan that we see in here from Halo, because the super soldiers that were called Spartans.
Yeah.
At first glance, you probably think this is Master Chief.
You would think.
It's not. But this is also not an original character.
Yeah.
This is actually a character named Nicole 458, who was an unlockable crossover character from the video game Dead or Alive 4.
Really?
They had been talks with Microsoft to have Master Chief come over, but Bungie, who was still in charge of the game at the time, said from a storyline perspective that doesn't make sense. So we'll let you make a new character who has the same armor, basically.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, that's who that is. Okay, that's the last of my trivia.
Okay. All right. So for info and stuff, IMDb, there isn't any. Be able to watch. It's available on YouTube. Production,
secondary versions of
secondary.
It's not. We don't have the original, unfortunately.
Right. Production was by Monty Ohm. Am I saying that right?
Oh yeah, that's
Monty
my
Ohm.
guess on how to say his name.
Yeah, Monty Ohm. I think I've heard it said Monty Ohm before.
Yeah.
Distribution, I just put Game Trailers as it originally was put out on Game Trailers.
That's where he uploaded it to.
Original release date was April 20th, 2007, and that's all I have.
Yeah, that is the thing about these shorts, is we don't have a ton of information to go off of.
That is true.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
It was interesting. It was like, okay, what am I watching? At first, I was like,
right.
It was like, okay, be like, I get this is from Halo, because I played Halo a little bit back in college. How long ago that was a lifetime ago.
At least 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's at least 20 years ago now. Man, that makes me feel old. Playing like the original Halo at college was fun, but so yeah.
Super Mario World was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is worse.
We're getting old, man. Let's just say that.
You do realize next year, the year I turn 40, so will Mario. Or Super Mario Brothers, the first NES Mario game.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
The Super Mario Brothers launch games, which means the NES will be 40 years old.
Wow. Just wow. Anyways, Anyways, be like, I enjoyed it for what it was. Be like, it is very chaotic as a viewable watch. And there again, the interlacing and the resolution on it is not the greatest.
That is the biggest issue I have with this.
Yeah.
I wish I had the download from the Game Trailers website from years ago, and I'm sure if I went to Internet Archive, which I'm not thinking of this until just now, I may have been able to find like a different upload, but this was the best I could find in the time I had.
Fair.
So,
but overall, but like it's interesting. It's an interesting little short, and it's a nice utilization of 2 or 3 different company or IPs.
Mm-hmm. Completely unlicensed, but that's the whole point. Yeah. Not to mention music from The Matrix.
Yes, I didn't recognize that.
There's a little bit of Halo music in there, and there's a 3 seconds maybe of Metroid music, and the rest of it is the fights is the music from when Neo fighting Agent Smith. That's all. That's what it comes.
Yeah, all the bullet time scenes.
Oh yeah,
we're just ripping straight off of Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is my general thoughts.
So looking back on when I originally saw this, and I need to mention this before I get to my current thoughts. I was blown away when I originally watched this because I had been following like the Machinima stuff, like Red versus Blue, for a while, and always looking for cool new stuff to watch because I was amazed at the time what they could do with just in-game models and animation.
Right.
I watched this, and of course, immediately I know, okay, yeah, this was not done in engine.
No,
they obviously have taken the models from the game, but this is definitely not being done in engine because none of this is possible. But I remember watching it and just being blown away, seeing this whole fight scene. Because honestly, I'm trying to think if there had been a 3D animated film before this came out that had fighting like this. I mean, yeah, you had The Matrix, but there's a lot of composition and green screen and wire work done in that. It's not fully CG models and such. Yeah. And I'm trying to think what Pixar movie would have come out close to this. Up, maybe?
I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about stuff that was like, it wasn't like we're talking about Toy Story era stuff.
No.
But this was still like, unless you were Pixar and were putting the big, I mean, this is around the time the first Madagascar film came out.
Yeah.
Which is a little clunky, if we're being honest. We haven't reviewed that one yet somehow. True. And it's not on the schedule, thankfully. But this is, I remember just being blown away by this and thinking, this is a guy on a home PC, probably a nicer home PC than I have, obviously, but on this kind of stuff, you could, if you built it and you knew the right parts, you could get a pretty decent PC at the time. And he did this whole edit thing from beginning to end. And yeah, I've been watching Flash videos, like the 4-part epic we watched last year, Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom. But which amazed me even for 2D, even though I understand how they did it. This was like, I was blown away at the time. It's just crazy what he was able to do. And so, of course, I remember I didn't watch any of Dead Fantasy just because I never did. Yeah, no good reason. But when I found out he was the one behind Ruby, that was the entire reason I just like, oh, they're doing an original anime-ish story with Monty Oum doing the fight scenes. Yeah, I'm down. How would I not be?
Yeah.
And so and that was the entire reason I originally watched Ruby. And then was because of Haloid. You get right down to it. So looking at it now, I'm still amazed what he was able to do at that time. And I do wish, like you said, that the resolution and the interlacing was not an issue here. But I'm still amazed by what what he was able to do, because even nowadays you don't see people doing a fight scene like this.
No.
Even though I think I think this has affected stuff going forward, because I'm fairly certain Kung Fu Panda has had a couple fight scenes, especially in like 2 and 3,
probably, that
have been like impressed by this. I'll put it that way. And of course, the Ruby series, which I only watched a little bit into season 3 before I just decided that show was not as good after Monty passed. Okay, for being honest.
Yeah.
No offense to the people working on it, it's just it did not have the same heart at that point. But yeah, I'm just still amazed by what they were doing, because this is original models that they ripped from the games.
Mm-hmm.
Even I think the only thing that's in here that's not original is the morph ball, because that is not the game. That is not the one from that era. That looks like an original model.
Yeah,
or the lighting on it is weird if it is the original model. But I'm still amazed what they were able to pull off with this.
Oh yeah, so, of course.
Yeah, and this is, like I said, this is a classic, and I can't speak its praises enough. I'm trying to actually think, is there something here I don't like besides the resolution and the interlacing? And I think the only thing I have is I kind of wish that the model for the backgrounds were better. Granted, this is all models taken from Halo, so I mean, we're talking original Xbox, beginning of the Xbox era.
Yeah,
it's like 90. Like 2001 is when those models probably were created before they were thrown in here. So I mean, that's like the one thing I can think of, because it's like it is a little clunky, but also to some degree that adds to the charm of this. So I can't get too mad at it,
Fair.
But yeah, this was a nice trip for me down memory lane to see this again, because it had been a long time since I'd seen this. The only other issue I do have is that when Samus gets hit and her power armor starts coming off, some of the armor just disappears.
It does.
It's not like it gets blown off and you can see where it's just like it's here one frame and gone the next.
Yeah,
and I to some degree I think that happened. That doesn't happen with Nicole, thankfully, but it's a different situation there.
Yeah,
but yeah. I think that's like the only other problem with this, is that unfortunately that they didn't have a good transitionary model at the time from Power Suit Samus to Zero Suit Samus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's probably like the only thing I have to say bad about it.
Okay. So my thoughts on Haloid.
Mm-hmm.
One, I think I heard about it when it first came out in 2007. I think. Because there again, my younger brothers and my cousins and friends like that were all in that same kind of vein of like watching these things. And I think I remember watching like a clip of it somewhere. And I was like, this is weird, and walked off.
Right.
And
walked up on somebody else watching it, thought it was weird.
Exactly.
Else.
I think they were like, oh, this is from so-and-so place. And it's like, game trailers.
Yeah.
They mentioned that. And I was like, okay, so I watched for a second and it's okay, that's cool, and walked off and did something else. So, and now coming back and watching it, it's okay. I appreciate what he was able to do with the technology and able to, taking the, what did you call it earlier with the
models?
Yeah, they took the models out of the game.
Yeah, they took the models from the game.
Took models from the game. Created what they created. Be like, interesting. The one thing I do enjoy about this was how he revealed Samus, and just be like, it's coming down, boom, because obviously it's Samus.
Yeah,
Samus. I'll just call her Metroid, but that's not Metroid. That's
the Metroids are the little aliens that she fights in that.
Which I was expecting to see a Metroid in this, but there wasn't.
I suspect the reason that there wasn't is maybe. It wouldn't have made sense fighting with the other aliens there.
Yeah,
but because Samus, as colorful as she is, almost doesn't fit this environment.
That is true.
So I think that may be what it is. It's like Samus barely fit. Anything else from that probably would not have worked.
Yeah, sure.
We don't even get her ship in this.
No, but her reveal when like her ball form comes down and she comes back and she like there's Samus and I was like, wow, okay, that's a cool reveal. The fog effects for the I want to call it PS2 era, but no, it's
no, that's PS2 era because this would have been GameCube, Xbox.
Yeah,
is what Halo. The models for Metroid would have been from the GameCube and from the
Xbox.
It'd be the original Xbox on for Halo.
Okay, so I wasn't wrong. So I wasn't wrong.
You got it right. You got it right.
Okay, good. There again, I'm not a gamer, but
right, you don't have these generations for in your head like I do.
Yeah, exactly. But I thoroughly enjoyed her Samus's introduction to this. I thought it was very well done, and it was just like, okay, that's impressive. That's an impressive introduction to a character, and I was thoroughly impressed. Are we going both likes and dislikes?
At this point, we're just discussing.
Yeah,
I kind of did both in mine.
Yeah,
so
be like, the production of it is very well done. Be like for the time period, and what technology had available to produce this. And there again, I don't have nostalgia like you towards this.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
Yeah, so coming at it from a 21st century view, it was created in the 21st century. Come on, Jacob.
I knew what you mean.
Yes,
from a 2024 point of view.
Yeah, from a 2024 perspective. I appreciate what he did and what the capabilities of technology he had available to him to create this is impressive. It's cool fights, and it's just like, okay, this is really confusing. And definitely the low resolution we watched.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
It doesn't help at all. But maybe I'll have to go back and watch the remaster.
Yeah, the remake.
This
is a full remake. I haven't seen it yet. But
yeah.
I didn't want to color my opinion of the original with the remakes. So that's why I didn't go back and look at it.
Fair. I would say my only dislike is probably the graphics, and probably with the low grade interlacing and whole bit just made the experience of watching it kind of muddled.
That is, I would say that is the biggest issue here. It kind of looks like you're watching this recorded off of an old VHS.
Yeah, exactly.
Which kind of feels nice in a way, kind of nostalgic.
Uh-huh.
At the same time, it's like, I am too used to progressive scan.
Exactly.
DVDs don't look this bad most of the time. But yeah.
And one other thing, it's like when Samus.
It's literally the name Sam.
Yeah.
With an us.
Samus.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to mispronounce it because I always mispronounce everything.
Right.
Samus.
You do have issues with names sometimes.
I do, which is very frustrating sometimes.
I can imagine.
But so when the what we think is Master Chief gets injured and takes off the backpack and the reveal, oh, it's this female character. I was like, and then like the resolution drops even further, and it's just like, this just looks weird.
I didn't notice a resolution change, but I think the way I did like how when she whips off the chess pieces. So to set a bomb I had no idea was going to in the back of that backpack.
Yeah.
I did like how just for a glimpse I could tell it was a female model underneath the armor. Because I don't think I noticed that on the other times I watched this, because I remember being surprised when they took the helmet off and it was a woman's head.
That would surprise
revealed it as a woman.
Yes.
So. But I shouldn't be surprised because Samus was done, initial reveal back in the NES was done the same way.
Yeah.
You didn't find out she was a woman until you beat the game.
Yeah.
And then she's standing there in her skimpy 8-bit bikini waving at you.
Yeah. Because I remember distinctly my brother Jim be like, he beat the original game. He was like, oh my gosh, it's a woman.
Yeah.
It's a girl.
With a name like Samus.
Yeah.
You would think it's a guy because Sam is a guy's name.
Yeah, you would think.
But it's not. It's not how this works.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on
right. What would you rate this thing?
I would probably like a 5.5, Like it was interesting. It was something that maybe I'll go back and rewatch or watch the remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, and see what the homage was to the original creator.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, I do not have the nostalgia you do for this.
Right.
So I'm looking at it from a more modern perspective. So yeah, 5.5, like it's interesting. It's worth a watch. Definitely a lot of nostalgia towards things like that. Sadly, I don't, but I agree. Be like, it is a work of its age, and it's done very well with the technology and the graphics it was able to do. And it's may not be my cup of tea, but it's enjoyable.
I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
And admittedly, I will admit some of that is nostalgia filled.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, I would say that like for the historical
yes
weight this has, because like I said, this is before YouTube was a normal thing, and you didn't have many fan videos at this time in 3D.
Yeah.
That looked this good. Now, granted, times have changed in terms of what we are safer with, and I will admit, yeah, I wish it was progressive scan and in a higher resolution than 480, though to some degree I'm thinking the one we watched must be closer to like 360 to be honest.
Ironically,
yes I didn't think of that when I said that, but yeah, I'm still giving this a 7 just because I'm still amazed looking back on it what he was able to do, because with the technology available at the time and the fight choreography on this, I think is still stellar.
Yes.
I think a lot, what few 3D films we have with fighting in them, I think still don't kind of hold up as well as this does. Because I mean, the problem with this is the fact that we're looking at models that are 20 years old doing this, but yet the choreography, the animation on those models, I think is spectacular.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm giving it a 7, and like I said, I do admit a lot of that is nostalgia, but I'm still amazed by what he was able to do. So 7.
Agreed.
All right, ready to go on to the next one. Curse of the Crystal Coconut.
Yes, I love this.
Directed and animated by Alex Henderson. Of course, have no cast. The song in this is called Pirate Scorn, originally written by Timothy William Fox and Paul Kaufman.
Yes.
From the Donkey Kong Country cartoons episode Booty and the Beast.
Not surprised.
And it was covered in this by the band Ailstorm. And what I would have to call pirate rock.
Yes, very much pirate rock.
Because apparently that's a lot of what they do is basically pirate rock. I did not discover this until right before we reviewed Urkel Saves Christmas.
Really?
I had just missed this. Granted, I'd seen the cartoon like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I knew that cartoon had songs, but I barely remember the show or what was going on in it other than this is early 3D cartoons and it shows. and going back, because I did find the original song and watched it and thought, okay, yeah, for this time and the TV budget, yeah, that was cool. But this particular version, I highly enjoyed. What do you got for info and stuff?
Let's see, info and stuff. As I put my glasses back on.
Sorry,
no worries.
I got off on a tangent.
Your worries, no worries. IMDb, there is none. Watch YouTube production.
Bootleg dubs.
Yes, bootleg dubs. Alex Henderson, and with additional help from Evoda and production Crate. Distributed by there's some distributing.
Yeah.
It was
put out on YouTube, basically.
It was put on YouTube. You can find more of his stuff at www.artofalexhenderson.com. Originally release date was September 13th, 2021, and it does have a sequel called Return of Crocodile Isle.
I saw that earlier this afternoon. I have not watched it yet.
I watched a little bit of it. It's very similar. It's got this more of like a musical theme to it, and it's the return of a certain crocodile from that particular series.
If it's K. Rool, he was in this too.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, yeah,
that's his name because I have no idea.
Yeah, King K. Rool.
King K. Rool. Okay.
Do you get the pun? K. Rool.
Yeah, K. Rool.
Cruel.
Yeah, cruel. Don't be cruel.
Anyway. Yeah. So this song, like I said, is from the Donkey Kong Country cartoon that was made by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation in cooperation with Nintendo. And that's what made the original song, and this short that this is all based on. These characters are in the short. Of course, it's all unlicensed.
Yes,
except they did license it, I assume, from the band. But who the band licensed the song from, I have no idea. But yeah, like I said, I discovered it right before we reviewed Urkel Saves Christmas because we needed to say something at the end of that episode to say what we were looking for next. We hadn't really discussed what we were doing for Indie Shorts Month yet. We'd barely decided we were doing Indie Shorts Month.
That is true.
And the Thursday night before we recorded, I'm making sure all my notes are good. And I'm looking at my thing and going, I only have one thing to put on this list. I need a second. So I just started searching fan films. And this was one of the first ones that came up. And I watched it and thought, oh, this is interesting. Yeah. Because at first I did not realize it was Donkey Kong Country cartoon. I just thought, oh, this is a Donkey Kong Country fan film. That's kind of cool because it really alludes a lot to the games more than I think it does the show, even though like most of the Kremlings are from the show.
Yeah.
The Kremlings are the crocodiles.
Okay. I was like Kremlings.
Yeah, that's the actual term for that force under payroll is Kremlings.
Kremlings. Okay.
So yeah, I remember watching this thinking, okay, this is extremely well animated for this. And yeah, I don't even know where to go off on this because I enjoy the animation. This has got great 2D animation. It looks far better than the cartoon does.
Yes, agreed. Indefinitely.
And I do love the fluidic animation on these characters. And I got to thinking, how often anymore do we see like large characters that are more large on top than they are on bottom? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really see stuff like that anymore.
No, you don't.
And this was just animated like so well. Yeah, if you hadn't watched it, definitely just go click the link in the show notes and go watch this because
it's worth it.
Very fun.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, they're gonna like you be like, I never heard of this prior to you putting it on the list, and watching it this afternoon, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. This is absolutely incredible. Be like, it's very well done. It was done in 2021. Music is incredible. The animation is so fluid. It's so well done. It's 3D and it's not overly done. You have incredible character models. They're lively. They're entertaining. They're not just standing there looking at you and just like the original cartoon would have been. Because there again, that was early 3D model characters.
Yeah, and on this, they are 2D, but so many 2D animations you see on the internet nowadays, you have one character who's actually doing something, and everyone in the background is just standing there. Like I'll be able to say later on tonight, I just remembered. There's a shot in the Evangelion one that's like, wow, you just put those guys in the background and just let them stand there. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, but this is like there is movement throughout the entire thing in the background.
Very fluid.
And there's even like characters who are only on the screen for like 2 seconds. You blink and you miss them.
Oh yeah.
Like because you see Cranky Kong right there near the end before they break into the treehouse to steal the crystal coconut that's not there.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, this is just so much fun. I didn't even realize this song was even a thing, and I love this song at the moment. I did not, like I said, I think I said this before at the beginning. It's like I didn't know pirate rock was a thing, and now I want to hear more.
Mm-hmm. The one of the things that I noticed is like on the second reviewing, because I watched it at work on my phone, which doesn't do this justice at all.
No, it doesn't.
So
You really need to watch this on a big screen.
Yeah, watching on the big screen, watching your television, and the point where the pirates are on, what is the island called?
DK Island.
DK Island. They invade DK Island, and as they're like pulling up the busting the piers up, you see for like fractions like Diddy Kong and
running away.
Yeah,
and Funky Kong sitting on the back, acting like nothing's going on.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like you have those little gems that are here and they're gone, and obviously you get DK's there, and then you get what's the crocodile's name?
Which one? The one singing?
No, the one with the crown.
Oh, King K. Rool.
King K. Rool. Used to be like, see those two characters, they're gonna be like, I don't play video games, so I know who I know who DK is, but
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I know who Donkey Kong is. Everybody else, I'm like, okay, I think I recognize these characters, but I don't know who they are.
So I will say that from the game, the only one that was in here you would recognize would be Donkey, Diddy, Cranky, and Funky.
Yeah,
and King K. Rool.
Yeah,
all the Kremlings would technically have been background characters with no names other than the general name for that repeatable enemy.
Yeah,
and Captain Skurvy,
yes,
as his name is, apparently was created originally for the cartoons.
Okay. Yeah, but overall, be like, I enjoyed this tremendously. The pirate score is absolutely incredible, like you said before. I didn't know there was pirate rock. Be like, I'd heard stuff like that, like Whiskey in the Jar and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but that's old Irish folk stuff that we turned into rock. There, I couldn't find anything really wrong with this because animation wise,
that's the problem I ran into.
Yeah, it's done incredibly well. There's so much incredible point to detail with every little thing that's animated. Is done incredibly well to the minute detail of like, oh, here's a background character, they're doing something, not just standing there like a brick. But it's thoroughly enjoyable. I really enjoyed this short, and I will definitely watch the sequel because I started watching before I came over here and I was like, wow, this is good. And it's another musical.
Good. I'm curious to watch what that is also.
Yeah.
What are you going to rate it?
I am rating it a 8. I enjoyed it that much.
I think I'm going to go with an 8.5 because this did dig up a little bit of nostalgia because I do remember this show.
Yes.
I don't remember this episode specifically, but I was able, because the song was written for the show, there are some references to stuff from the show, like the crystal coconut I know was a thing from the show.
Yes.
That he was searching for, that K. Rool was trying to get a hold of.
Yes.
And had gotten Captain Skurvy to look for it. Except Captain Skurvy apparently had some ties to it from his past or his family history. And I knew of it being the coconut being in the idol of Inca Dinka Doo.
Okay,
it's the name and they do say that name in the song.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to hear, unfortunately.
Yeah, agreed.
But I was like, okay, it raked up some nostalgia for me. It wasn't a lot of nostalgia because I think I barely caught this show.
Yeah,
caught the show, but yeah, I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah,
or 8.5. That's what I said. 8.5.
Yes.
So yeah, that brings us to the end of our review this time.
Yes.
Join us on the other side of the bumper.
What are we watching next?
Oh yeah, next time. Sorry.
All right, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
So the next 2 shorts we are reviewing, these 2 are my pick. It's called Fuel, and the other is called Soft Rain.
Okay.
So a completely different departure from what Drew's picks are.
Yes, because we realized, just like last year, he's picking these nice artistically artistic full. I don't know what, I don't want to say important because I don't want to put more importance on it than it needs to be, but you know what I mean.
Artistic emphasis.
The kind of stuff you would expect to be like to show off, and I'm just doing internet history crap.
Yeah, more be like yours is more like internet nostalgia with video games.
Well, except the ones we're doing, I put on there next time, are not video games.
Really? Okay, that's weird.
But you actually may have some nostalgia for what it is.
Oh, okay.
Even though you have never, I don't think you watched anything from this site. Or if you did, it wasn't much.
I don't even recognize his name.
You wouldn't, but it's a G.I. Joe parody.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
But anyway, yeah. We'll talk about that next time.
Yes.
Join us on the other side of the bumpers. And we will get to talking about what we've been watching, the news, and I know you said info and stuff, but we'll get into some Evangelion.
Yes.
Emotional damage.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out Stunning and Brave. Each week, hosts Chris Cowan and Nate Henderson confess their privilege, spotlight stunning social media posts, and fabricate outrage, all while keeping you super woke and enlightened. They will make you laugh. That's right. You have no choice. Check out Stunning and Brave at stunningandbrave.net. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: Ashley and Francisco Ruiz, Book of Gaming, PaulJPowers.com, and Edwin Gonzalez. If you would like your name shouted out on the show, uncut episodes, and special art from Jacob, and for a limited time, the chance to request episodes of the podcast at the $10 level for us to review, please donate to us on Patreon. We have only had one person take us up so far, and he's already a member. So he just upped his pledge.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So yeah, I've already kind of got on the schedule, but I'm waiting to see how anything else goes to
Okay, got it.
to fully place it, because
Nice.
I know one of them we need to time exactly.
Yeah.
So Jacob, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What have you been watching?
So in the course of 2 weeks, ever since our little hiatus for Christmas and New Year's,
Yes.
so for Christmas Day, I drove to my parents' place, and we opened presents. And towards that afternoon, my dad was just flipping through channels looking for stuff to watch for Christmas Day, and he turns on Home Alone.
Okay.
Yeah, on Disney Plus. And that was fun because you obviously, like, we'd all watched the movie a dozen times by now. And it was fun doing, like, me and my brothers, and like everybody was just throwing trivia out the entire time, and this and this and this. It was a great time. I finished watching a documentary called Sly. It's a Sylvester Stallone documentary on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of apparently Sylvester Stallone, or also Sly, he's reminiscing about his life and his career while he is moving. So it's an interesting introspective of the actor, and I thought it was very interesting because I know Arnold Schwarzenegger did a similar thing, I think last year, I believe, and that was interesting because don't we all love our actors from our childhood is doing. They're recounting they're recounting their lives, and I thought it was very interesting. Also, I started watching a old show. Now, granted, this was back in I think the late 80s, early 90s, Record of Lodoss War.
Oh yes.
So
I've watched that whole thing. Yes, we know, Deela. You have to. That's why you named yourself after the elf.
Exactly.
Yeah. We know how it is.
But I think I'm on episode 3 or 4 or whatever, because it starts off very weird because
well, it's a series of OVAs.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So there's only like a total of 12 episodes?
Yeah.
Which for that time period is strange.
Yeah.
And there's one episode, I don't remember where it is, but you can tell they had no budget.
Yeah.
It's near the end because it's like a 3-minute long shot of them zooming out from one image with like things coming across slowly. It's like, And while like a narrator is describing what's happening, it's like y'all ran out of budget.
Yeah. This was one of my earliest encounters of anime. I didn't know it was anime. And I was like, wow, it's really good, because my cousin Brian Rafe, who's been on the show before, go listen to our episode of what was that episode?
Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, it was Ghost in the Shell. Go listen to that one. He's on that. Thanks, Brian. Really good, because I started realizing like how that influenced my art in so many ways. It's not even funny. And the last thing I watched, I don't want to advertise this thing because it's a load of trash.
Oh,
but I'm going to give a small synopsis of it. It's on YouTube. You can go watch it at your own discretion. Now, mind you, this is probably put on by a bunch of atheists, non-believers in Jesus Christ, where they spin this yarn of, what was it? The Emperor's Messiah, how the Roman Empire created Jesus.
Okay.
So with their narration that after Jerusalem was conquered by General Titus back in 70 AD, where the Jewish historian Josephus had switched sides historically. So they proclaim that this was when the birth of the Christian movement began, where Josephus wrote all of this down, where it would point to, rather than, because there was messianic figures who'd shown up, and the Roman Empire just stomped them out. So according to them, they kind of amalgamated a bunch of these messianic figures. Instead of being violent revolutionaries, they made him peaceful, and they called him Jesus. And so what they're trying to say, instead of, oh no, but like, no, be like, he's not a Jewish savior, he's a Roman savior. So they're trying to point back to Emperor Vespasian, who was the emperor at the time. And to me, it's the lowest horse crap on the planet. Because one, if you know anything about Christian history, you know anything about history in general, definitely Roman history, is, okay, we know definitely historically facts that probably 99% of historians believe in agreement that Jesus Christ, or Jesus of Nazareth, did exist. He did die from crucifixion by Pontius Pilate in 33-34 AD. And his followers were known as Christians are the way. And that Emperor Nero, after the Great Roman Fire, blamed the Christians for the fire. And there were many persecutions. According to this program, in air quotes, says, oh no, that didn't happen. That was all made up later by Josephus. I'm like, ha ha. Now, granted, be like, I'm not going to give you the name of what this was called, because if someone like, oh, I just want to understand what's going on, or it's someone who doesn't know who Jesus is, or maybe they're a new believer. So I don't want them to watch this and have a incorrect understanding of how history actually works, because these people are obviously trying to manipulate people. And tough luck. It'd be like, if you're anything like me or Drew, or anybody who has a firm faith in their belief and knows history for 3 seconds, knows you're wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to rip on this little documentary, which I'm not going to give the name of because I'm not going to give them credit for anything. So yeah, I watched like 25 minutes of it and I rage quit.
Surprised you lasted that long.
Yeah, well, I lasted like 5 minutes into it. It's like, okay, what are they saying? So I lasted another, till 25 minutes. I was like, nope, I'm done. So I thought I would come on here and talk about how I wanted to rip this thing apart.
Okay.
So yeah, that is all I've been watching.
So I have seen a couple of things
Right.
since we last were together.
Mhm.
For one thing, between I believe it was the Friday I visited my parents for the weekend.
Yeah.
For Christmas weekend. And from the Friday I went down there until this last Sunday,
Yeah.
every day Disney Plus released an episode of season 2 of Marvel's What If.
Yeah.
I have seen every episode
Ah.
because it was easy to keep up with.
Yeah.
On a daily basis. It is a very good show. The first episode has a very Blade Runner-esque feel to it.
Okay.
I think you will appreciate the Christmas episode.
Okay.
Because I know how much you like a certain movie that some of us don't consider a Christmas film.
Oh yeah, I remember they riffing off that.
Yes, it's very good.
Yeah.
Some of the episodes aren't like super great, but there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched all that. I've been, of course, been keeping up with Monarch Legacy of Monsters.
Of course.
I haven't watched this week's episode yet. Went to go see Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. Is that the name of it?
Yes.
How
was that?
It was a reverse Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
In a way. Okay. So I don't even know a good way to explain this. There was a very obvious environmental message.
Of course.
Because humans are evil for putting all this, for warming up their planet. And then, of course, the villain is also releasing. They literally had one of the Atlanteans call it greenhouse gases. I thought that would be a landside term considering the word greenhouse, but apparently not. Yeah, this ancient magic that used to warm the earth, and that's why Atlantis fell in the first place, according to this, is because of this ancient magic that looked suspiciously like radioactive isotopes. Suspiciously. I love how they kept saying, we got to be very careful with these containers because they're very volatile. And like every shot, they hit something with this stupid crane carrying these things. It's like, for something you're worried about blowing up, you sure don't seem to be taking very, very careful take care of them. It was a decent film. I was able to follow. For where DC is right now, it was good.
Okay.
Actually, for the state of superhero movies right now, I would say it was good.
Okay.
But you know as well as I do how they need how the superhero genre needs like good writing again, and that because that's the biggest problem. Neither DC or Marvel have. They're both trying to take it easy right now. Now, hopefully, James Gunn will make the DC stuff look good going forward. As he's like been the only bright spot in post Endgame MCU. He's not the only one, but because there's one or two, but none of the other Marvel movies made me cry.
Okay.
Like Guardians Volume 3 did.
I gotcha.
Even though there was still some modern Marvel bull crap in there. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been keeping up with all that. Still watching Star Trek every once in a while, original series. Because I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I watched Strange New Worlds, I think it put a craving for that era Star Trek on me.
Yeah.
And of course, I put it off while we were doing Lower Decks because that's new Star Trek.
Yeah.
But after that went off, I decided, why don't I just watch the original series? It's all available where I can get to it easy.
True.
And what I discovered is that I've watched a lot of Star Trek, the original series. And I do mean a lot of it. There's a couple episodes that I may have watched maybe once a long time ago, so I kind of barely remember.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to say there's a couple of these that I never saw.
Okay.
So, it's not that I'm not a true fan.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
The reason is I up until a couple years ago, my excuse would be I was limited to what they would broadcast on television.
Fair.
And even that would be, edited down, and the original series was written in such a way there's not really a good way to cut for commercials.
True.
That's just not how they wrote at the time.
Very true.
So yeah, I'm going back through that, and it's been a nice, fun trip. But other than that, I think that's all I've been watching.
Okay, so I wanted to use.
And I've been playing Final Fantasy 14.
Of course.
So put that in there.
So I wanted to do a huge shout out to another podcast.
Oh,
that would be mic'd up with the. Let me start over with that.
Mic'd up with
Dr.
Mike Miller and
Kobe Durham.
Kobe Duran.
Yeah. So
it's not like we don't have connections to this.
No. I wanted to give them the shout out because they finally came back with a new episode,
and I've already sent their new producer critiques on that episode. So it's because I want their stuff to sound as good as everybody else's. So.
Yeah,
and he understood where I was coming from. Because anyway,
yeah.
Beside the point.
So
we're good friends with the producer too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The producer, he gave me a access to it early. So I wish
he gave you access to it early.
Yeah,
you were probably supposed to send it to me and never did.
No, he never mentioned that at all.
Literally, when I sent him things, did Jacob give you the episodes? He's like, because he wanted to know which version I listened to.
Oh, okay.
And he says, no, I didn't. Was he supposed to? I just listened to the version I downloaded when it went live.
Yeah.
We're talking about our friend Al Lambert.
Al Lambert.
I'm fairly certain we can say his name on the air.
Yes, but I feel like it's really enjoyable because it's
talking about basically what our church did in a crisis at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, what you do right, what you do wrong, and it's like if you want good advice about just leadership and that kind of thing, because Dr. Mike and Kobe go through it and it's done very well, and I can't wait for the video version of this come out.
He's been releasing the video one over a couple of episodes, a couple of releases, hasn't he? I don't know. I haven't checked the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was looking. I haven't seen it yet, but it's probably there. It's somewhere.
Granted, I want to double check with him on some other things. I think I may be looking at the wrong YouTube channels for stuff.
Okay.
Because I was looking for the Wednesday night things, the weeks I've had to miss, and plus once choir starts back up, I'll have to miss it all the time. But I still want to keep up with that stuff,
right?
Since it's now, I know he's recording it, but I can't find where it's being recorded to. So I got to ask him about that.
Yeah, but either way, be like, I just want to give you a shout out to Mic'd Up with Mike Miller.
It's a good podcast,
and even podcast. Recommend it.
And even the stuff before this most recent episode is good.
Yes.
So go check that out. Also.
Yes. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right. In that case, it's time for some Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I thought we were going to do some news first.
Oh, we do have news first. I'm sorry. I'm just ready to jump ahead to the next thing.
Yeah.
The Cellcast News with your host Jacob Heron.
Why, thank you, Dylan.
And it's not like I didn't know you had news, because a fairly big thing happened on January 1st in the animation world. I don't know if that's your first story. I may have jumped the gun.
But yeah, you might.
We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
Come back to it. Like you're probably thinking of something else I'm not thinking of.
Oh, I know you know about it.
Oh, I probably do. I just don't.
You've already made art on it, so I know you know about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
We'll get back to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get back to
apparently
that.
Not your notes.
No, apparently it just went zing right over my head. Anyways, the British Academy of Film and Television Arts announced the longest of films and talent that has gone through the second round of voting for the 2024 EE BAFTA Film Awards. Round 2 voting kicked off today, January 5th, and will determine the nominations to be unveiled via global live stream on January 18th, starting at 12 p.m. GMT.
Greenwich Mean Time.
Greenwich Mean Time. Thank you.
Because it's British.
Yes. That's what I thought.
Sorry, I said that wrong. It's British.
British.
So you can't put the T. They hide the T now since we threw it in the ocean. We dirty Americans.
Apparently. Bloody Americans. All right. So
I'm just quoting a meme I saw on the internet.
Yes.
So it says, why don't y'all pronounce the T? We don't show Americans our T anymore since y'all threw some of ours in the ocean.
Okay, I picked it up with that one. I literally we just threw a letter T into the ocean. It's like no T.
That's the joke.
Yes, I know. It went zing right over my head. I'm a history nerd. Jeez.
You should have caught it.
I know.
Bad part.
My history nerd card, please. There you go. Thank you very much. Oh, jeez.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, out of the 17 nominees already being selected would be The Boy and the Heron from Studio Ghibli, Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, Elemental from Disney Pixar, Nomura from Netflix.
Oh, Nimona.
Yeah, Nimona. I knew it was
I haven't
Nimona.
watched it, but I do remember seeing it
Yeah.
advertised.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse,
Mm-hmm.
the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and Wish.
I am assuming that of these, granted, I've not seen all of them. I'm assuming Spider-Verse gets the win because I know didn't perform well. Super Mario Brothers performed well, but I don't think it was as good as Spider-Verse.
No.
And I'm trying to think if I had any opinions on the others. I don't think I had opinions on the others.
All right, so going into a little bit of extra news, this was the final box office numbers for 2023 are in, and Universal, Elemental, Sony Pictures Animation has landed in the top animation charts. And here's how the ranking for 2023 animation movies in the box office went out. So these are ranked for the U.S. gross. What do you think was the number one film released? And you probably saw it because I posted it earlier this week.
You did, but I didn't look at the thing.
What do you think was the top grossing animated movie in the United States?
I know Mario had an early lead,
Mm-hmm.
but I would be willing to bet Spider-Verse passed it. So I'm going with Spider-Verse.
Nope. It was your first guess.
Oh, it was Mario? Okay.
Yeah, Mario.
I knew it had an early lead because there were talks of it beating Frozen too for a while.
Yeah.
But I just figured Spider-Verse had done better because once Spider-Verse came out, it like took the conversation off the internet to only be it. And we weren't talking about Mario for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So Super Mario Bros. From Universal, which made $574.9 million just domestically alone.
Mm-hmm. It did very well.
Yes.
Far better than the original Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my gosh. Fuck, leaps and bounds of mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I still haven't seen. I started watching it on Netflix.
It'll come up.
And I was like, wow, this is good. Elemental from Disney, which is in third. Puss in Boots, the last wish from Universal.
That's barely this year because I think that came out like in January of last year.
I think so.
Anyway,
yeah. So TMNT, Mutant Mayhem from Paramount, Trolls Band Together from Universal, Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie from Paramount, Wish from Disney, Migrate from Universal, and coming in at 10th would be Boy and the Heron from Studio Ghibli.
For a non-American film that did not have a wide release.
Yeah.
I mean, it had a wide-ish release, but it did not it was not here.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville. So I mean, it wasn't a huge release.
Right.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's about as well as Godzilla -1 did under the same situation.
Yeah.
I bring that up because it was released under the same type of release schedule.
Right.
I'm not promoting Godzilla -1 anymore. We'll wait till we actually review that thing because it will be on a plus movie at some point. I guarantee it.
Most likely.
I already know who we're getting to guest on it.
Yeah, a certain Nathan Marchain.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me.
So, is that the end of your news story?
Yes, minus the
the big one.
Yeah, the big one that happened January 1st.
Yes.
With the trademark.
No, on the trademark. The trademark's still active. It's the copyright.
The copyright. That's right. The copyright of Steamboat Willie
and Plain Crazy.
Yeah,
because those both came out the same year.
Yeah, are now open copyright.
Went up when those two shorts entered the public domain this year. Of course, those are the original Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Yes.
Now let's be specific. What's actually out there, and you're actually allowed to do stuff with. The animation and the images are public domain.
Yes.
The performance copyrights, well, the composition copyrights for the music are public domain.
Yes.
So you can perform these things all you want. However, the performance copyrights that were used in the show for both songs in the short, they still have about 10, 15 years on them.
Really?
I looked it up because the songs, because they are handled by the performance that is handled by a separate copyright, even though it's part of the animation.
Really? That makes sense. Because
at least the song Steamboat Bill, where this gets its name from, although there was a Steamboat Bill Jr. that this is also supposedly based on, that was like an old Buster Keaton film. This is somewhat also parodying, but that one, because it is Walt Disney who actually does the whistling in that.
Yeah.
We have to go by 75 years after his death for that copyright to go up, which is not for another 10 years. And then Turkey in the Straw, which is the other song in that. I have no idea who has that performance copyright, but I'm assuming it's got to be around the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So about 10 more years until it's completely out of copyright. Now, that being said, there's other issues.
Yeah.
And that being the fact that Mickey Mouse as a character is still highly trademarked.
Yes.
And that's in perpetuity.
Yes.
And as long as the Walt Disney Animation Studios uses that clip from Steamboat Willie, the whistling that Mickey Mouse does is also part of that trademark. So while you could perform that, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. With this, other than just show it, as long as you make sure it's like, as long as you give notice as to that this is a Mickey Mouse cartoon, Disney, and of course, as long as you show the title card, it's going to do that.
Yeah.
So I did some looking up because I was curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, trademark is in perpetuity as long as it is, if I remember the wording correctly, I forgot the word. Zealously, as long as it's zealously protected. That's, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, what's my Voltron back there made out of?
Legos.
You called them Legos. This is officially not what that product is called. Lego is the company.
Yes, Legos is the company.
Not the Lego bricks.
Yeah, we just know them as Legos.
We call them Legos, but Lego company itself would like you to call them Lego bricks to separate them from Mega Bloks.
Yes.
And other rival companies that technically, because that patent died a long time ago, they're all interconnected, but they don't want Mega Bloks being called Legos, even though we probably all would naturally call it that.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean by zealously protecting it, is anytime you say the word Legos in reference to the bricks in front of someone who works for the Lego company, they will tell you it's not called Legos if they're Lego bricks.
Yes, they're Lego bricks.
And that's kind of the same level of zealous protection I'm referring to.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, I am currently curious, considering all of the stuff that has released or has been announced coming out actually, there's something coming out in March.
Really?
A slasher horror film called Mickey's Mousetrap.
I heard about this.
Now, I read on it where exactly what it is. I think they can actually get away with this because they're not saying that it's Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
It's a guy dressed in a Mickey Mouse costume.
Yeah.
That's legal.
That's
Because you
true.
just, as long as you don't say he's Mickey Mouse,
Yeah, he's a big mouse.
you can't. The trademark is not broken.
That is true. There's so many little loopholes when it comes to trademarks.
And you know Disney is going to be using all of them. That's why Donald Duck is trademarked completely. Goofy is trademarked. Oh, that's the other thing. Minnie is technically available now too in this design.
That's right.
And Peg Leg Pete, as he was known at this time.
Yes.
Not the Pete the cat we're used to. They're technically the same character, but it's entirely different designs.
Right.
So yeah, but here's the other cool thing. There's actually 3 shorts that entered the public domain when all this happened. Like I said, Steamboat Willie Playing Crazy. And there's a third one. I can't remember the name of it. I just remember it was kind of a weird. It was using words we don't use in modern language.
Okay.
So whatever it was, but it's the first 3 Mickey Mouse cartoons they ever made. They're not these 3 are not the first Walt Disney productions to enter the public domain.
Really?
There's stuff that came out later that entered the public domain back when the rule for copyright was 50 years plus if you re-registered it, you could get another 50 years. And one of these actually is a Mickey Mouse cartoon called The Mad Doctor that aired once.
Oh.
And it was banned. And so, but you can watch this on YouTube because somebody has it and they recorded it in a very clear. I've watched it. It's a very clear transfer.
Yeah.
Like a really clear transfer. I have no idea how this happened. I need to look into it more, but there's 2 other ones that are also in there because they weren't Mickey Mouse, but they were other Walt Disney ones. And then I found out that there is another quote unquote Mickey Mouse cartoon that is in the public domain that was not made by Disney and has no copyright notice on it. So it entered the public domain upon its creation.
Oh, yeah.
And it was animated by Adam Savage's mother.
Really?
Yeah. It's called, the official name of it is short film or short subject, as a short subject, but it's more well known as Mickey Mouse Goes to Vietnam. It is less than a minute long. I watched the whole thing.
Right.
It's less than a minute long. And literally it's like Mickey Mouse walks on screen, sees a sign that says, join the army, see the world, walks off screen, walks back on screen with a gun and a helmet, gets on a boat that says to Vietnam, gets off the boat, walks into the forest, and then gets shot in the head. And as he lays slowly dying on this beachfront with black, this is black and white cartoon.
Yeah.
With blood coming down his head, his natural smile turns into a death frown. And that's the thing. That's the entire short.
I've got to watch this. This looks so morbidly funny to watch.
It was the weirdest thing I watched. It's like, does Adam Savage know anyone can watch this? Because he ought to be making money off this. But yeah, it was when I was doing the research on Wikipedia about it. It literally stated the name of the person, one of the animators, and it literally lists Adam Savage's mother right next to it. It's like,
oh my,
really?
Wow.
Yeah, Adam Savage of MythBusters fame, for those who don't know. So yeah, that's all I've got on this.
Nice.
So are we ready to jump into, now that we've talked about Mickey Mouse having some emotional damage, why don't we talk about a young Shinji Ikari doing the same?
A quest for all time.
She is the one named Sailor Moon.
Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon. It's time to do. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon, Scarlet Champions. Yayo, ho, set sail for One Piece. Yo, Shinji, get in the robot. Your dad loves you, get in the robot. The cockpit's too small for a grown-up. Kick some butt in your robot. Emotional damage.
Once again, I must remember to mention that is Stephen He doing the emotional damage bit that I got off his thing. And I can't remember now for the life of me where the Lost 4 Kids stub was from. Who uploaded that? My apologies.
Oh my god.
But yeah. In this episode,
yes,
called A Human Work or The Works of Man.
Mm-hmm.
It was directed by Keiichi Sugiyama and written by Hideaki Anno and Yoji Inokido.
Mm-hmm.
In this episode, a new nuclear-powered military robot, Jet Alone, goes out of control during a demonstration ceremony and heads towards an almost certain meltdown. With the help of Shinji and Ava Unit 1, Misato takes it upon herself to stop its rampage. There is no new casts really to speak of in this episode.
Nope.
Getting into the trivia, the angel that we have appearing in this episode, we do see the corpse of Ramiel.
Yes, agreed.
And I am including Jet Alone here, even though he's not an angel, since he was the main antagonist that had to be stopped.
Main robot or bad
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
So yeah, Jet Alone is a bipedal robot developed by Japan Heavy Chemical Industries, designed to supplant the Evangelions. Unlike the Evangelions, which have a limited internal power supply and must rely on external power cables for extended operation, Jet Alone has an internal nuclear reactor, likely a pressurized water reactor, and can function for at least 150 consecutive days. Jet Alone also requires no pilot and is controlled by an onboard computer. Radio commands can be issued from a ground station. Jet Alone actually happens to be named after Jet Jaguar. Who helps for our friend Nate on his show as their curse blocker.
Oh, okay.
This is also Godzilla's robot sidekick that appears in Godzilla versus Megalon. A very fun movie. One of the partners in the Jet Alone joint venture is Ikuhara Industries, an homage to Hideaki Anno's close friend and fellow animator Kukihiko Ikuhara, who is best known for creating Revolutionary Girl Utena and directing some of the seasons of Sailor Moon. In the original Japanese dub, one of the Jet Alone's tech crew tells Misato that odds of its simply stopping on its own are 0.00002%. The English dub by ADV Films accidentally leaves out a zero, saying that the odds are only 0.0002%. You know what? Who cares about a missing zero? It means it's very unlikely.
Yes.
This episode is cited by the production team and fans as the end of the introduction arc that began the series. Starting with the arrival of Asuka next episode, the action arc begins with Monster of the Week Angels being fought for several episodes.
Yes.
Fly Me to the Moon in this one is the 4-beat version, which I had to look up what that is, and I still am not 100% certain. But considering it sounds like swing, I'm calling it swing. It was sung by Yoko Takahashi, who sang the original theme song, the Cruel Angel Thesis, and the second two, the episodes 3 and 4's version of Fly Me to the Moon.
Okay, gotcha.
But from what I did look up, a form of 4-beat is a form of rhythm organization, which all 4 beats are relatively equal. 4-beat was especially common in the swing era and afterwards, but was also found in earlier jazz.
Oh, just wait until I think it's not this episode, not the next episode, but it's like another episode or two later where we're talking about rhythm.
Wait till we get to the Fly Me to the Moon in the next episode. I hurt myself trying to find out information on it.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, anyway. Jet Jaguar versus Evangelion. What are your thoughts on it? That's basically what this is.
Yeah, it's
except this Jet Jaguar is stupid.
Yeah, it's a mindless robot that just walks.
Yes,
it doesn't do anything. It is a very simple, straightforward.
It only got one command before it rebelled. So.
Yeah, exactly. It malfunctioned. It's on a rampage because it's running its program,
and it tears right through Tokyo Dome.
Yeah. I do like it because you have Masada. I want to say Masato, but it's not. That's not
Masada. That's outside of Jerusalem.
Yes,
this is Misato.
Masato. Yeah, Masato.
Who loves to drink
a lot, but in this one, she definitely does live up to the idea of being a commander.
Yes.
Like she does buck against everyone, say, no, I'm gonna go do this myself, be like, this is the last resort, this is the only thing we can do. And it's the idea that Nerve is the only people who can do anything, and everybody else is like secondary, is second fiddle, whatever. And it's proven to be right, because this behemoth of a mech goes berserk.
Oh,
Does it though?
does it though?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Let me come back to that, because I want to mention one part. I laughed my butt off when I saw it. When this episode starts, it starts off with her waking up late for making breakfast. And Shinji's had to make it.
Yeah.
And of course, she is a slob whose idea of breakfast is a
can of beer.
can of beer.
Of course.
And that's, it's like, okay, that's a nice setup for whatever you're doing. Next time it comes, and of course, Pen is there, and Pen at least eats an appropriate breakfast for a penguin.
So does Shinji. Be like, eats
and
toast.
they're all eating stuff, and they all both look at Masato when she walks in, and it's like, really, you're even bothering to show your face right now?
Like, how embarrassing.
She goes and gets her can of beer, and then in the next after the next time we go through the sequence again, after a day's gone past, and she's getting ready to go where she's going, she wakes up like early. She is fully dressed in a uniform we've never seen before, but we're assuming is her actual Nerve uniform.
Yeah.
Shinji's mouth goes wide open. Pin's mouth goes wide open, and his fish falls back into his bowl. That's like, okay, so yeah, whatever's happening today is important.
Yeah.
And you're fully aware of it.
Yeah.
And then they get to the this banquet to talk about Jet Alone. Every other table is full, and and it's got like wine glasses and such in the center of the table. And she and Ritsuko, thank you. They're the only two people at their table, and there's only like 8 beer cans on their table.
Of course,
because Masato's been taking the edge off in her own way, which is not champagne like wine like everybody else says.
Exactly.
So those are funny little background things I noticed when I was watching this. But then we get Masato, like you said, taking charge, being the commander we know she is, because we've seen her do this before. This is the first time we've seen her actually get in the middle of actually doing stuff. Because at this point we don't really she's the only person who's technically the Ritsuko, is that her name? She probably could have done it too, but she's aware of actually what's going on. No one bothered to tell Masato, right? Because Masato would have said, we're not doing that. Because Nerve was aware of this, and they sabotage. It's not said that they sabotage this whole thing. It's very heavily implied, to the point that they might as well have said they sabotage this thing.
I agree.
Because they believe that the Evangelions are the only things that should be taking out the angels.
Right.
I suspect this has something to do with the other secret organization involved with Nerve.
Yeah.
Seal or Sealy or whatever it's called.
Sele.
I'm curious how Netflix pronounces it, because I'm still looking at it every time I go Seal.
Yeah.
But I suspect it's something to do with that, because it's very obvious Gendo has a plan, and it's based on what we saw in the next episode, mentioning a term for the first time that this is the second time, because we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I suspect that technically Jet Alone probably would have been successful if the project had been allowed to continue and get better, and might have supplanted the Avas.
Maybe.
But that would destroy the bigger plan that Gendo Ikari has.
Exactly.
And Ritsuko is probably also in on this plan and probably agrees with it.
Yeah, probably.
So,
So the thing that during that interaction between Masato
And
and
Masato has no idea about it, which
no.
makes me wonder how she's so high in the organization if she's not already on this team.
Agreed. So the point where Masato and the organizer of the new mech, the
Yes.
new mech.
I love that part where they're having to get authorization to give her the password, and they go through every single
That was funny.
public image, and then none of them want to do it. They say, "Oh, well, you need to fax that to my office, and they'll give you the sign off on it," while he's there golfing.
Oh yeah, that was
It's like-
hilarious.
And finally, the guy just goes, "Yeah, the password is Hope."
Yeah.
It's like Hope, 4 letters. That's like saying your password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only an idiot would have that as his combination. Amazing. That's the combination to my luggage. That's right. You've not watched Spaceballs. You don't know what I'm quoting.
I have watched Spaceballs. Thank you very much.
I didn't think you had. I'm
yes,
sorry.
I have. Yes,
So
I
you
know
do
the
know
reference.
what I'm
I
quoting.
do recognize the
My
reference.
apologies. My apologies.
So the point I want to get to, and I thought it was a very good point because the director of this new project, Masato's pointing out all these things that be like, they're self-absorbed military elite who like try to take all the wealth and what have you from the nations around to create their projects, and he pounces right back with the exact same argument that Nerve has literally put millions of people into starvation, into like everything because of all the finances going to Nerve, and it just unnerves Masato so much.
Nice
It's
pun.
like, huh?
Nice pun.
Yeah, nice. Unnerves. But be like, it's true. It's true. Be like, it's like for how much be like money and investment would have to go into to do that. Yeah, it would bankrupt countries. It would cause famines. It would cause plagues and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because
Not that Gendo cares.
yeah, Geno doesn't care. He's got his plan, which I don't know if you know the plan. I know the plan. I don't know if you know the plan.
I suspect, since we've already known that there was a second impact, that he's trying to make sure the third impact actually occurs. That's as far as I'm going, and I have been intentionally trying to be very careful with what I look at when I'm researching, because Ava Geeks in their trivia sometimes will talk about stuff I don't need to know about yet.
Blue hair much?
Yeah, this is definitely a blue hair problem.
Yes.
I'll put it this way. I have already run across whose souls are in the Avas.
Yeah.
Or at least 2 of them.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, it's this is a good episode. It's like and another thing I noticed, like with Shinji himself be like, he's kind of opened up. He's kind of opened up as a character. He be like, he's become friends with people at school. He's his hedgehogs, his quills are now kind of retracting a little bit, so he's comfortable. He's comfortable with everybody.
I would not know a thing about how that feels.
But not at all.
Not at all.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, just like it's good to see a character, because you first see Shinji, who's doesn't know how to talk with people. He's very much isolated, and to understand his past, you understand why he's like that. And we'll learn more about that later throughout the series, but when we go down more deeper rabbit holes. But
I know more deeper rabbit holes are coming.
Yes, they are, a lot of them. But this episode is more like you get the Shinji's high point. You get one of his high points in this episode, where he is openly concerned about Masato's health.
Yeah,
and be like you'll die because of this, and it's like, it's the thing you got to do, because like you said, Masato is apparently is either she's in on it or she doesn't know about it.
Masato doesn't know about it, and it's kind of surprising considering her role at Nerve.
Yeah,
that she's not in on what's going on.
Yeah,
as mission commander, because she can override Ritsuko, it sounds like, in the field.
Yeah,
which then makes me wonder, why did they let someone who wasn't already in on the thing get into that position.
Yeah, we'll get
I'm
there.
sure
when
we'll
we
get there. I'm sure we'll get there. That
when we get
that
there.
is the question I have, since it's very
Yes.
obvious there are secrets running through
Yes.
the organization, and probably
Yes.
Nerve is probably the better half of this couple with Sealy,
Sealy.
whatever.
Yeah. Either or. So let's get into our next episode.
Next episode, Asuka Strikes, aka Asuka Arrives in Japan. Directed by Kazuya Tsurumaki
Mhm.
and written by Hideaki Anno and Yoji Inokito. In this episode, Masato, Shinji, Toji, and Kinsuke travel to a famous aircraft carrier to collect the new Ava Unit 2 and its prideful pilot, Asuka Langley Soryu. A seaborne angel strikes the fleet, and Asuka leads Shinji into her Ava's entry plug for an immediate demonstration of her skills.
Yeah.
Getting into the cast, as we do have new cast this time.
Yes.
Asuka Langley Soryu, played originally in the Japanese version by Yuko Miyamura, Tiffany Grant in the ADV dub, and Stephanie McKeon in the Netflix dub. We also have Ryoji Kaji, being played by
Ryoji.
Koichi Yamadera in the
Yeah.
Japanese version, Aaron Crone in the ADV, and Greg Chun in the Netflix dub.
Yes. Yeah, Koji's a cool character. We get to learn more about who he is, and
Yeah, but in this one, he's a jerk.
yeah, oh yeah, he's a jerk. He's a jerk.
Getting into the trivia, the angel we see in this episode is Gahiel. The name Gahiel, also called Gagiel or Dagiel or Dagiel in Judeo-Christian folklore, is the angel of the fish.
That makes sense.
Its Hebrew name can be translated as roaring beast of God.
Huh. Interesting.
Once again, I would like to remind our listeners that pretty much all of this Jewish mysticism, me and Jacob do not believe in.
Exactly.
Even though all this thing keeps saying is Judeo-Christian. The Christians don't actually believe this stuff. A lot of this is the Jewish stuff that is not in the Bible.
Exactly.
Anyway, Gahiel has a bony face on its dorsal surface, almost identical in shape to Sachiel's long-beaked face. Gahiel's core is located in the back of its throat, and the angel's mouth must be open for the core to be vulnerable. In a later episode, Gahiel it will be told that Gahiel has destroyed 1/3 of the UN naval fleet in this episode. Gahiel's design is rather similar to that of a shark or a ray. Also, the battle is vaguely evocative events in the movie Jaws, as both monsters attack human vessels, are reeled in similar to fishing, and are destroyed by explosions set off inside their mouths.
I wonder why.
Gonna need a bigger boat. That's the third time this month I've run into that.
Open wide, you son of a.
This episode features the very first appearance of Ava Unit 2. I tried to look up information on this design, but I could not find anything official. However, looking at it myself, I will say it does appear to be based off the stereotypical depictions of the devil.
Of a demon, yes.
No, I'm thinking the devil himself.
Oh, the devil himself. Okay.
Yeah, the red suit, horns, that's the whole bit.
The
Only thing
Western interpretation.
Western interpretation. Only thing we're missing is a pitchfork.
That is true.
Which, considering pictures I've seen, I suspect that's coming. I'm aware of where recreation of that thing is in Japan.
Yes.
Just saying.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm aware of this. You don't have to. You can giggle all you want.
The Lance of Lazarus.
A minor example of character design recycling from another Gynax show appears in this episode. The captain and executive officer of the ship Over the Rainbow are the captain and first officer of the USS Abraham in Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. The closing credits for this episode are tinted red instead of the usual blue, probably to celebrate the arrival of Asuka and Ava Unit 2, since Ava Unit 2 is painted red.
Yeah.
Fly Me to the Moon in this one is a bossa techno version sung by somebody named Aya. And I have to say it that way because no matter what I did trying to figure out who on earth Aya is, I could find nothing.
Really?
It doesn't help that you type in Aya and Evangelion, you get Ayanami.
Ayanami?
Every time.
Really?
It's not Ray. Yeah, it's not Ray. I know that.
Yeah.
Because every other time it lists the actress playing Rey, it says Rey.
Yeah. Really?
It doesn't say Aya or Ayanami. It says Rey. And this one,
Interesting.
it is just Aya. And I looked everywhere I could. The closest name to a Japanese singer named Aya I could find,
Huh.
I determined was not this person
Huh.
because her stuff is more punk rock, and this
Yeah.
is very much cute J-pop. In fact, I actually kind of liked this version. My understanding is the Asuka version in the next one is even better. But yeah, I scoured the internet and was unable to find any information on who the singer is.
Huh.
Now, granted, I may be looking in the wrong spots,
Maybe.
but I was unable to find it.
Huh.
Also, one last bit of trivia,
Okay.
personal to me.
Okay.
This is as far as I've gotten in the show before.
Okay.
Technically, with the rebuild movies, I did finish the second one, but off my understanding is after Asuka's arrives, it's an entirely different thing.
Yes.
So I am going to put right here, to quote Samwise Gamgee, with the next episode, or to paraphrase Samwise Gamgee, in the next episode, I will be taking a step farther into this than I've ever been before.
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay.
just wanted to put that out there.
Ah,
I am entering uncharted territory.
Good.
Completely uncharted territory after this episode,
nice.
except for clips.
Ah, gotcha.
A lot of clapping and a lot of orange juice. Is all I know after this.
Oh gosh.
Also Gendo in the rain with a gun pointed at Ritsuko. I know about that too.
Gotcha.
I've seen that clip.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, ADV Hell. Because of course, ADV Hell mocked Evangelion up and down.
Oh
board.
yeah. So obviously this is our introduction to Asuka Lenya Soyuz,
Yes.
as in the ADV dub.
ADV dub.
Yeah, yeah. I can't talk tonight. ADV dub. So her introduction is great. Like literally, she's standing over people and the whole bit. Get this big dramatic introduction, and poor Toji. Toji gets slapped because
He
the wind
deserved
picks
it.
up and sees something and gets slapped.
He deserved it.
I agree. And
What was that for? That was payment for the bit of heaven you just experienced.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like pow. That was great. That was it's one of the greatest introductions to a character. And Asuka immediately takes charge of situations. The Ava shows up, and obviously Shinji doesn't have his Ava at all.
Why would he? Why would that be on standby when an angel can show up at any time?
That is true.
Granted, I bet Ava Unit 1 can't do well in the water either.
Probably not. That was great because it was more like it shows Asuka's cockiness, her fiery red-haired personality.
Yes, just to get it eaten like a wooden puppet in Monstro's mouth,
Exactly.
and then to be used as a lure.
It was great. It was great. It was so perfect. And it was more like, so Asuka has to show up for Ava, and it's like,
course.
oh,
This is the
I'm
introduction
superior
episode.
to everybody.
Yes, and then she forces Shinji to get in her robot
And her plug
and
suit.
makes him wear an extra plug suit of hers. And I'm sitting there going, I get that it's probably the only plug suit you have,
Yes.
because obviously he didn't bring his.
No.
Is that one getting destroyed afterwards? Because Asuka, do you want to wear a plug suit Shinji's worn? I'm just saying.
Right. But
Especially after y'all got so close at the end of this episode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I will put it this way: if I had any doubt that this was a coming to adulthood story before this point, it's gone. It's like, okay, yeah, he had to get super close with a girl. This was him getting super close to a girl.
Just wait.
Because obviously he couldn't do it with Rey. She's a little too standoffish
Yeah.
and is in love with another man.
Yeah. And we'll get there when we get there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we'll figure that out later. You'll be like, oh my gosh, no.
I get the feeling there's a lot of sin that's going to be implied later on.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Like you said, orange juice.
Lots of orange juice.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So whenever we do wind up watching in March, I'm gonna give you a warning. Just saying.
And I'm just saying, I found where the other half of this is on Netflix. You know, for a while, all I could find was End.
Yeah.
I found the other half.
Oh.
The one that's technically just a rehash of the whole thing.
Yes.
Of the whole series. And I'm planning on watching that too.
Okay. Fair.
One right after the other, because that's the closest thing you get to the long version.
Very true.
But anyway.
Yeah, anyways. This is a good episode. Be like, hold on, let me find his name again. Because I am terrible with names. Come on, really?
Aaron?
Huh?
Talking about Ryoji's actor?
No, not Ryoji. Hold on.
Or Kaji?
Yeah.
You probably know him as Kaji.
Yeah, Kaji.
I keep seeing Ryoji first, and so that's why I goes.
Yeah, Kaji. Like Kaji in this episode, he's very it's like obviously there's some connection between him and Masato.
Mm-hmm.
And
him and Masato, him and Asuka.
Yeah.
And he runs away because of the human instrumentality projects.
Yeah, he's got a certain thing in his briefcase.
Which he claims is Adam.
Yes, he claims it's Adam.
That didn't look like Adam.
Yeah.
Not what I assumed Adam look like.
Right.
Maybe all that's left.
Maybe.
I'm guessing.
Who knows? It gets weirder beyond this. Let's say that.
I'm aware it does, because some of that weirdness is in the Rebuild movies, even though they go a different direction.
Yeah.
So I mean, I remember seeing one of them on the cross in the Geofront in the movie.
Yeah.
I want to say that was Adam, or I thought that was Adam.
Nope.
It's either that or Lilith.
Yeah.
Except I thought Lilith was AV Unit 1. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there.
And I could be just remembering something that was in the Rebuild films that's not actually in the original show, too.
They're in. Yeah.
Who knows?
They went in a completely direction with the films. But overall, I thoroughly enjoy it because you see where Asuka thinks she knows everything, but when she's in the water, be like, it's completely out of her element. And Shinji's telling her this kind of equipment doesn't work in the water. And she's like, oh, it'll work. Doesn't work. And it's just
she drops like a stone.
Yeah, drops like a stone and becomes a bait for the Eva.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical. Which there again, they sink 2 battleships and fire its forward mass guns into its mouth to kill it. Moby Dick much?
I want to say something and I'm not going to.
Okay.
It's -1 related.
Okay. Got it.
Let's just say Ava did it with 2. Godzilla -1 did it with 4.
Jeez. Here, lizard.
And both failed. Well, actually, no, these guys actually succeeded, but -1, they failed. It took something else to happen.
Right.
Something more thematically necessary.
Yes.
But anyway.
But we will review that film at some point. I guarantee it.
As soon as I have a home video, I'm putting it on the schedule at that point. That's all I'm waiting on. But anyways,
but like, yeah, it's a great episode, and you see where like Asuka's you start to see her insecurities a little bit. Like when people start giving praise to Shinji, she gets upset about it, and so we see
you can't praise him. I'm the one in the better Gundam. The
Gundam.
Ava robot. Mecha.
Okay.
Well, it's not a mecha either.
No, it's not a mecha.
We already know that. That's not a thing, because we already knocked off Ava Unit 1's helmet.
Yeah.
So we already know that there's an eyeball under that thing.
Yes.
No explanation on that yet.
Yeah. I mean, like, you have theories. I know what it is.
Ava theory. Thanks for watching. Anyway.
But yeah, it's great because they start interlacing all these little things like with characters and like how
I can see that there's
Sato deals with Kaji and the whole bit.
I can see that they're laying down plot threads that are obviously going to get stitched together.
Yes.
And it's just too early to start stitching these together. And I'm assuming as well as this series is liked,
Mhm.
they are going to get stitched together and probably stitched together well.
Yes.
Whether I like how the final tapestry looks is going to be another matter.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. You got anything else before we cut out of here?
No, all I can say is like with the next episode with Moment and Heart together, and the next episode would be, if I can pull up,
I got it on the drive.
Magna Diver.
Magma Diver is 2 episodes
Yeah.
for now. It's in the next episode.
Yeah, it's the next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So
The only other one where the Japanese name and the English name are the same.
Gotcha. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it because I love the next episode because it's so funny. Because you get 2 characters who don't like each other apparently have to work together.
Well, of course, you got to get them on the same side.
Exactly. But it's played so well, either or. So yeah,
Right.
Look forward to those episodes when they come out next week.
All right. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day.
I try.
His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron.
And his letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen.
His Facebook page, Drew's Photo Bin, to see his photography. His letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast. On Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming.
On YouTube at Cellcast.
On Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. I don't know the rest of it. Anyway,
Somebody getting a robot.
a pirate robot.
Exactly.
So super duper mega force then.
Yeah.